The bar for multiplayer games is so low right now that removing the 2 from Overwatch made people think it's good again. I'm so sick and tired of all these bullshit gas games, man. If you're feeling like me, then maybe you need a game like Deadlock. Deadlock is my latest multiplayer addiction and my latest chronic cortisol spiker. I've been playing Deadlock since before most people started playing, long before the patrons were transmogrified into Lady Liberty and King Yellow over here. I remember when Purple Lane was still around. That's because, like life, change is slow but impactful. And much like life as you get older, Deadlock has gone through so many changes recently, and it is bound to change further, as this game isn't even finished. You can't even download it from the Steam page yet. You need to have someone invite you in like your name is Vlad Tepish. No, I didn't steal that joke from Maxor.
Read a fucking book for once.
There are plenty of people in the Deadlock community that are willing to invite you in, although I'm pretty sure a public beta will open eventually, so if you want to wait, that's okay too. Regardless, much like Marvel Rivals, I've spent far too many hours in such a polished early access game that I have to make a video about it to justify the amount of time I've spent learning this game, which is what I initially thought I would do, but then I realized that I am nowhere near good enough to be making a Deadlock video with a bunch of montages and shit. So, I'm gonna be doing something completely different instead. With Deadlock's newest major update, we've been introduced to the 2 patrons we've been fighting for, the Archmother and the Hidden King, which then further prompted me to think, which Deadlock heroes would pick which patron's side? I mean, the choice is made for you in-game, but using clues from their interactions, voice lines, and early lore, I want to infer which heroes would pick which patron. I don't ever think we'll get definitive answers on which heroes join which side, because why spoil the mystery, and also it's just more fun to speculate about. That being said, some of these guys fit better with one patron over another, so we'll get to that eventually. Couple things to disclaim. 1. This video is speculative in nature, and as such, this is based solely on my opinion formed from conclusions I've made about reading the lore. If you have a disagreement about a placement in this video that I've made, that's totally fine and normal, and I encourage you to leave comments telling me where you think certain heroes belong. But please be kind and normal, otherwise I will delete them. And 2, just like with the Cyberpunk video, whenever you hear this sound, it means there's some contextually relevant info on the screen that I think is important to look at the video for, in case you decide to use this video as second monitor content, which, judging by the length of this video, I don't blame you for that. People got shit to do. Without much further delay, let's take a trip to the Cursed Apple. Before I get into the meat of the video, let me set the scene and give a little background info for people that may not be so into Deadlock lore like me. The year is somewhere between 1950 to 1960. While the world has always known the supernatural existed, most people assumed it to be myth. That notion changed forever at the end of the 19th century during the First Maelstrom, a supernatural event that caused 7 astral gates to open up, breaching the gap between supernatural entities and humanity. Now, all forms of supernatural phenomena have become natural parts of life. As the years went on, info began spreading on the potential summoning of 2 godlike beings known as patrons, those being the Archmother and the Hidden King. These entities have been told to grant wishes at the cost of entering into a covenant with them and participating in a ritual to summon them. And with a second maelstrom brewing on the horizon, now has never been a better time to summon a patron. However, there's a catch. Only one of the 2 patrons can be summoned due to the sheer amount of supernatural energy needed to bring them into the real world. As a result, both patrons and their factions are stuck in a deadlock until one stands while one falls. Which patron shall be brought to power? This is what each game of Deadlock you play tries to answer. Now onto the actual patron hero speculation. Starting off with one of my favorite characters on the roster is the hard-boiled Detective Abrams.
Don't worry, I'm on the case.
After finding a mysterious tome with a note in black blood, Onyx is black, saying not to let them have it, Abrams' goal is to destroy the tome so that nobody can gain anything from it. Plenty of other heroes like Geist, Paradox, Venator, and Yamato have all shown interest in taking the tome off of Abrams' hands, but he stands resolute in being the only one to destroy it. Abrams is not a character that trusts anyone easily, let alone 2 godlike entities that he knows next to nothing about.
You worried at the last minute that the patrons are gonna screw us?
Detective, Now more than ever, we need hope, not skepticism.
Hope doesn't keep you alive.
Trust me, my friend. Sometimes, it's the only thing that does.
In the process of trying to rid himself of the tome, his house has been broken into, his car firebombed, and his office ransacked on multiple occasions. So Abrams harbors skepticism surrounding this whole ritual and the motives of the patrons regarding the tome. In terms of hero interactions, Abrams is one of few characters whose voice lines just boil down to pre-ritual small talk with the other heroes, so they offer little insight into his character, aside from one incomplete conversation with Venator about a case that ended badly back in their past.
No, there was a way to risk more, and God help us all if we failed. I don't blame you for not having the stomach to do what needed to be done, but sleep easy knowing that what happened in that brownstone is my burden alone, not yours.
As for which patron he'd join, my guess is he'd favor the Archmother over the Hidden King. The Hidden King states in one of his lines to Abrams that he knows how skeptical he is of the patrons.
Trust doesn't come easy for you, Abrams. But know this. When you complete the ritual, the Hidden King will honor his debt.
Call me crazy, but I feel like reading someone's mind and calling out someone's skeptical attitudes is a surefire way to make sure they don't trust you at all. And Abrams would certainly be even more weary of the Hidden King than he would be the Archmother. Plus, the Archmother's shrines evoke similar but not the same type of tome vibes that Abrams carries, which I would argue, being a pragmatic, rational man that he is, would value a patron that has more expertise with mystical items and how to rid themselves of them. Next up, we have the Ixian golden boy Apollo.
I see you have excellent taste.
Like all his colleagues in the New Blood batch, Apollo is quite the intriguing character. His wish hasn't been explicitly stated by him in game, however, I'd argue Apollo's main wish for the patrons revolves around making his homeland of Ixia a prosperous country, free from political conflict and violence.
You don't know Ixian?
English is the only language my parents will speak around me.
So they just want to abandon our culture?
But you'd have to ask them. All I know is that if my parents thought living in Ixia was so great, they never would have left.
This isn't about me. It's about my home.
Apollo is literally Ixian royalty.
The Prince of Ixia will stand triumphant.
And while he doesn't hate New York City, he certainly doesn't love it as much as his homeland.
It's not Ixia, but it's tolerable. I'm here because my father asked me to be, not because I want to. I live in New York. It will never be my home.
And it's safe to say that if given the choice, he'd rather be living in Ixia than in New York, but given the current state of Ixia, Apollo cannot go back. While Apollo may appear as arrogant to some heroes, that is simply due to his high self-esteem and how he views himself as a capable individual that holds himself disciplined and honorable.
I was skipping class, I'm fine.
Oh, I'm fine, just undisciplined and negligent.
You're such a prick.
I hope you're not above fighting dirty.
There's no honor in that.
No, but there is great satisfaction in being alive.
Once I've rendered them helpless, run them through.
There's no honor in stabbing someone who can't defend themselves.
No, but there is glory in victory.
Due to his highly disciplined and honor-bound attitudes, the Hidden King is definitely not a patron that Apollo would think fondly of joining. I mean, the idea of Apollo joining forces with a godlike being that has been forced into being summoned from the shadows doesn't match up with the characterization he is given in game of being this confident, disciplined young man that wants to prove himself and his culture in an evident way, and not by doing so with what he would probably call underhanded tactics. I'm also going to infer that Apollo would have more respect for a patron that calls him by his name rather than calling him a child. Apollo has a serious goal and values anyone that can give him experience on how to become a more capable individual.
I've heard you're a good teacher. Do you have any advice? Most teenagers are morons. I value experience.
In all 5 of the Hidden King's intro lines with Apollo, not a single time does he call Apollo by his name, referring to him only as child. The Archmother, on the other hand,
Hear me, Apollo. You are destined to surpass your father and bring glory to all of Ixia. But before any of that can happen, you need to complete the ritual.
So far, we're 2 for 2 with Ixians favoring the Archmother over the Hidden King. Will Infernus make it 3 for 3? Next on the list is Bebop.
Who wants to play with old Bebop, eh?
Bebop has a pretty cut and dry wish: cure his creator Miss Shelley of her illness. For being a robot, he is extremely kind and generous, offering to take characters like Drifter of all people to meet Miss Shelley. The only thing keeping Bebop from becoming a murder hobo like Drifter is the fact that Miss Shelley is still alive and is his reason for being a good person in the first place.
So what sort of bindings did your creator put on you?
What do you mean?
Rules that you're required to follow.
Like ethics?
More like the unethical enforcement of ethics.
Oh, Miss Shelley doesn't believe in that sort of thing.
So what's stopping you from mowing down humanity with that death laser?
It will disappoint Miss Shelley.
He also has a history as a pit fighter and has a hate-fueled rivalry with a renowned fighter we'll discuss later. Before participating in the ritual, he was using the money he won in pit fighting to pay for medicine that would help to cure Miss Shelley. This might be out there, but I think that Bebop would join the Hidden King over the Archmother. While the Archmother urges Bebop to complete the ritual for Miss Shelley's sake just as much as the Hidden King does, the Archmother doesn't stress the urgency of saving Miss Shelley the same way that the Hidden King does.
Shelley Fisher is running out of time, Bebop. Don't fail her. Complete the ritual. Modern medicine cannot save Miss Shelley, Bebop, but the Hidden King can. Summon him.
Bebop, having such reverence and respect for his creator, would also value someone who shares in his urgency to save her, even if it is from a low-key evil being. To me, Bebop fits the story trope of a genuinely good person getting tricked and manipulated by a bad character into doing a favor, even when they know better. The Hidden King goes even further in manipulating Bebop by referring to him as Miss Shelley's son.
You're a good son, Bebop. I know you won't fail your creator.
Something which the Archmother doesn't call him, despite the Archmother having the same mind-reading power as the Hidden King does. Bebop also isn't against doing things behind Miss Shelley's back if it means she has a chance to be cured. To go so far as to join the Hidden King isn't out of the question for Bebop's character. With that, Bebop is our first Hidden King joiner. Ramming past Bebop is the raging rebel known as Billy.
The hell are you staring at, buddy?
Billy is a lot. Angry at everything and everyone, he wants to change the world as he believes, quote,
"The world is corrupt and beyond saving."
Most characters on the roster either don't care about Billy's hatred of the world order.
Go complain to someone else, Billy.
It was like the budget version of Lash.
How can so much anger fill up such a tiny man? Think I'd rather deal with Lash.
You're angry, we get it. Get a hobby. He was silly.
What an idiot.
Or just call him out for being a poser that does nothing to change the slightest thing.
It's easy to rage against the elite when you have nothing of substance to offer, Billy.
Normally, I would take this time to make you confront your inner demons, but in order to do that, you'd have to be a person with some sort of actual passion and drive.
Yelling about something is different than fighting for something, isn't it, Billy?
Stop yelling about your problems and start fixing them, Billy.
Your performative outrage is tiring, Billy.
You're not an iconoclast, you're a cliché. A contrarian who thinks that hating something is the same thing as being interesting. So please leave. You're dreadfully boring.
And then you have Paige.
I get what you're doing.
The hell are you talking about?
The whole mad at the world shtick. I bet you secretly have the heart of a poet and are just waiting for the world to be a little kinder.
I hate people.
See, you think you do, but that's just masking some void in your life.
I hate you.
See, that doesn't make any sense because you don't know me.
I don't want to know you.
That's what people say in the first act, but then by the third act, they're best friends.
Also, I find it funny that while Billy is a self-appointed anarchist, he still pays taxes.
So that's where my tax dollars go. I pay your salary, Holliday. I can use this.
Something that a different pair on the roster don't do at all, and they aren't punks as far as I'm aware. Which further proves the characters that think he's a poser are more right than they believe. As for which Patron, the Hidden King, it's the Hidden King. I see no world, timeline, or dimension where Billy joins the Archmother over the Hidden King. The Hidden King's base looks like the exact kind of place that Billy would have a mosh pit with his other anarcho-punk friends, of which there are probably very few. Plus, Billy's aesthetics and attitudes match way too well with the Hidden King than he does with the Archmother. I don't really have any more evidence than that. Both patrons say the exact same things to him word for word. This is purely a soul read situation into what I think Billy would choose. Put Billy on the Archmother's side and I can guarantee you he would walk his goat ass back to that Fairfax factory before the ritual even starts. If any of you have an argument as to why Billy should belong in the Archmother camp, leave it down in the comments. I genuinely love to see it. Next up, we have the Mistress of Shadows, Calico.
It was smart to ask for my help.
I despise Calico. In game, she is just the worst. A burst assassin with crazy sustain and mobility, and I hate most people who play her, except Sajam, he's cool and not a piece of shit. In lore, she's a pompous, stuck-up bitch that thought she was too good at killing monsters to not get paid for it. So she decided to try and make a living killing people instead, earning the moniker of the most dangerous woman on the planet. Despite the title, she isn't even that good of an assassin. She can't even kill the heir to Fairfax Industries without him surviving and living in hiding for 5 years.
The hell you didn't. A quarter inch to the right and that bullet would have been square in my heart.
Point is, word on the street is that you do sloppy work.
Excuse me?
There's something about, like, a hit that went bad. I don't remember all the details, honestly. Wisconsin hooch is top shelf.
Calico's wish is to be the, quote, apex predator.
You're a dangerous woman, Calico. But you are not the apex predator.
She values strength and power as well as monetary gain.
I'm not interested in killing people for money. It's an arbitrary yet distinct line.
And will do anything in her ability to get it.
You're the woman with no honor, yes? You betrayed everything you believed in. You used to save people, and now you kill them for money. You're a lost cause.
Wrong. I have no illusions that my hands are clean. But at least when innocent people die by my hand, it's not because I'm looking to make $1. Don't pretend that you bothered to check. I hope your 30 pieces of silver was worth it, Calico.
Even the Archmother isn't exempt from calling her out on how others see her callous nature.
They paint you as a Judas for turning your back on the Baxter Society, but the Archmother will never judge you.
While the Archmother does share some similar lines as the Hidden King, she mainly tries to play at her bond with her cat Ava and that Judas line earlier. But the Hidden King has lines that prey on Calico's unending thirst for power and how there's certain things that even she isn't fully aware of herself.
Your brilliance has gotten you far in life. But you have enough humility to know that there are some things beyond even your considerable ability.
While I was going to place her in the Hidden King camp, I actually think that she belongs in the Archmother side instead, and for purely selfish reasons on her end. Calico is very similar to characters like Mina and Geist. She's vain, power hungry, but more importantly, has extremely high standards for herself. Calico considers herself to be a high-class woman.
It's about time someone had some claws around here.
So working on behalf of the Hidden King in what she would probably call a shoddy rundown factory in downtown Cursed Apple doesn't seem like something she'd want to be a part of. Compared to the more luxurious neoclassical architecture of uptown Cursed Apple, where the Archmother has more influence, the Hidden King by comparison just rules over a filth dump. Calico also has vast amounts of knowledge on subjects other characters want to know, like the Troubadour.
You ever hear something called the Troubadour?
Enough to know to stay away from it.
Oathkeeper.
Only a fool would make a deal with Oathkeeper.
And Victor's origins.
Excuse me? Did you? We're talking after the ritual.
Someone with this amount of knowledge, power, and vanity would want to join the Patron that also aligns with these ideals that Calico holds. And for those reasons, Calico goes in the Archmother camp. On the complete opposite side of the moral spectrum, we have Celeste.
If you need my help, I'll be there.
Celeste is a unicorn, like a legit unicorn, but because they are so rare, nobody believes that she actually is one. To keep her identity a secret, she works as part of the Coney Island Sideshow Act with her fellow misfits. Her wish isn't even for herself, instead entering the ritual for the chance to get one of her friend's soul back after they amassed a massive gambling debt and used their soul to pay for it. Celeste is one of the purest of heart on the roster, matched only by the 4 horsemen of the Pure Hearts Club, Paige, Rem, Ivy, and Viscous. Unlike Calico, Celeste is disgusted by the very idea of hurting anyone, let alone killing anyone.
I hate this. I wish it didn't have to be this way. I don't want to have to hurt you.
But knows it's a necessary evil to save her friend. Hear me out on this, but I think Celeste goes on the Hidden King's side. Now let me explain myself. While you might immediately make the assumption that she belongs with the Archmother since the Archmother is the good one and the Hidden King is the bad one, in reality there's nuance to the patrons. They're both sorta evil. While the Archmother and her base associate with themes of academia, neoclassic architecture, and art, it almost seems as if the world was planning to summon the Archmother into the world before the second Maelstrom was going to occur. You don't get an effigy made of marble and spotless floors if you're also not favored by the world at large. The Hidden King, on the other hand, is in stark contrast to the Archmother, evoking more archaic symbolism with his Wicker Man effigy, while also appropriating more modern elements like speakers and taking over a Fairfax factory as an impromptu summoning ground. Also, the patrons don't really care what kind of person you are. You can be a good person like Bebop and join the Hidden King, or you can be a bad person like Calico and join the Archmother. They really don't seem to care. Needless to say, there is clear patron favoritism within the Deadlocked world, but what does this have to do with the unicorn? Well, Celeste's existence as a unicorn is still somewhat doubted by the world at large.
Even in a world of magic, people question your very existence. It's wrong, but the Hidden King can set things right.
While other occult/mythical beings exist, unicorns are among the rarest of the rare in Deadlock.
No way she's a real unicorn.
So rare, in fact, that some people think that Celeste glued her horn to her head.
Let's see him say I glue a horn to my head now.
Celeste is also no stranger to hiding herself within the margins of society, even if she's hiding in plain sight, similar to how the Hidden King exists within the cracks of society. The Hidden King also has a line that calls out how Celeste isn't happy with hiding who she is.
You hide who you are from all but your closest confidants. This need not be the case. Summon the Hidden King and usher in a new world with you by her side.
I would speculate that Celeste would rather join a patron that would make a better world not just for herself, but also for her misfit family and friends. And while the Archmother would welcome her no question, I infer that she'd be putting herself in even greater danger post-ritual by showing off that she is indeed a unicorn. Although I guess it doesn't really matter because she's screwed no matter which side she chooses in that end. Point is, she's no stranger to being a misfit in a world full of stranger misfits, so she fits with the Hidden King side. Serving with a smile at the Baroness Hotel is the Doorman.
May your time in New York be unforgettable.
Where do I even begin? The Doorman goes by no other name other than Doorman.
So what's your name?
I am the Doorman.
Well, I know that's your job, but what's your name?
The Doorman.
Well, that's not your name.
It's not, but for my purposes in New York, it helps me stay grounded that I am here to serve and not to rule.
What if I called you Brian?
No.
The Doorman could be called many things. Fledgling god, patron, cosmic being, you name it. Bottom line is that after tormenting humanity for countless years, he has decided instead to be an observer of humanity. And the best way he thought to go about that idea was to become a service worker at a haunted hotel that you can see on Broadway Lane, the Baroness Hotel. Doorman's whole goal for the ritual is just to see the patrons again. He has no need for a wish. It's just been a while since he's been able to see them. And once the ritual is finished, back to the Baroness he goes. Many of Doorman's lines show that he is a veteran in psychological warfare.
I'm excited to get a front row seat to you throwing your life away for revenge.
It's not throwing it away if they die.
I'm sure your wife will see it the same way.
Shut up.
And how is Oathkeeper treating you these days?
Oathkeeper is not your concern.
Just being polite.
I'd rather you be silent.
This is even more evident during his ult, where he sends people to the Shadow Realm.
Know this, Bebop. When Miss Shelley dies, it will be because of your failure. Your heart beats faster as you find yourself in new territory, slowly but surely realizing that here you are no predator, merely vermin scuttling down the hall. Keep calling yourself a Sandman instead of Executioner. Maybe you'll believe it. Aaron, your mother and father love you and would be glad to see you come home. Sorry, I tried, but I couldn't keep a straight face. You have no home.
Patron-wise, I think Doorman is truly the only exception when it comes to choosing a side here. He doesn't have any motives to seize power or to change something for the better or worse, as far as we're aware. He just wants to see his Elder God friends like it's his high school reunion. While the OSIC does see Doorman's participation in the ritual as overstepping,
you overstepped, Doorman.
What that means in the broader context of the Deadlock world, I have no possible clue yet. If he had to pick a side, my money is on Archmother 100%, but my gut is telling me that he wouldn't pick a side. He would just fence sit and add fuel to the fire, and making everyone's lives a living hell during the ritual, only to slink back to the Baroness like nothing ever happened. Skulking from the shadows, we have Drifter. Drifter is a vampire. Unlike other vampires, Drifter has no love for the social values of vampire society, instead roaming across the US for hundreds of years and killing anyone he can get his claws into.
Oh, I'm exactly who you think I am.
Drifter doesn't really have a wish. He's not in it for glory or altruism. He's just in it for the love of the game. Drifter is so malevolent and wicked that he uses children's lullabies as a calling card before murdering his victims. He wants to sow as much violence and chaos into the ritual as possible, going so far as to challenge characters like Haze to see how much more he can kill than she can.
Think you can keep up, Haze?
I'm not getting in some schoolyard challenge with you.
All business. That's fine. I can appreciate directness. I am going to kill more than you, though.
Sure you are.
And for that, he earns a little of my respect, even if he is a vile murder hobo vampire. The only exceptions he doesn't like killing are Bebop because he's a robot, Sinclair because they're already dead, and Victor because he feels like he's putting him out of his misery. He's also got some history with members of the Baxter Society, mainly Shiv and Talon. Fuck Calico. Drifter's history with Shiv is interesting, as Drifter has known Shiv before he joined up with the Baxter Society. When you kill Shiv as Drifter, Drifter will sometimes point out how much of a disappointment Shiv has become, and that killing him, quote,
feels Shakespearean, don't it, Shiv?
We'll talk more about Shiv in his section, but the fact that Drifter feels so disheartened by Shiv is something to keep note for future lore revelations. One thing that caught my attention immediately was a line where the Archmother welcomes Drifter back to New York, but referring to it as New Amsterdam.
Welcome back to New Amsterdam, Drifter. Oh, how we missed you.
New Amsterdam was initially what New York was named before it changed, meaning both Drifter and the Archmother have been around since 1665. While I initially thought that it was merely Archmother probing Drifter's mind to look for ways to influence him to act on their behalf, as this is what patrons are known to do, the Hidden Kings does this too. That thought immediately dispelled when I realized that supernatural forces like the Patrons have always existed before the Maelstrom, but they were just not as well known or documented before the Maelstrom. Also, only the Archmother says this. The Hidden King doesn't have this line at all. So the fact that Drifter and the Archmother are almost as old as each other is a shocking revelation that I don't see nearly enough people mentioning. Or maybe they have and I'm just lacking. In terms of which patron he'd join, I think it would be whichever patron restricts him the least. Drifter is a kind of exception where he could fit in both camps of joining the Archmother or the Hidden King. Neither of the patrons really say anything that make it convincing as to which one favors him more, other than the Archmother New Amsterdam line. Both of them share lines encouraging Drifter to kill on their behalf, but if it was up to him, he'd just kill to kill, regardless of which side he's on. Also, while his appearance might suggest he'd fit in the Hidden King camp, his tastes are quite refined for a vagabond.
As far as I'm concerned, this is like sitting next to Mozart on the piano bench while he plays canon in D.
Pretty sure that was Paco Bell.
Yeah, him too. Point still stands.
So there is a chance he could live it up in the marble walls of the Archmother's base. But if he had to pick a side, he is way too Hidden King coded as a character for me to put him in the Archmother camp in good conscience. Hidden King is the enabling dad to the 9-year-old playing COD that is Drifter. Basking in starlight is Columbia College's favorite scientist, Professor Dynamo.
Oh, I wouldn't miss this for the world.
After being one of the first people to ever see the Astral Gate open up during the Maelstrom firsthand, his human body was atomized and transformed into a dying star. Despite losing his body, he was able to continue his occult pursuits, teaching metaphysics at Columbia College, and even marrying a lovely woman named Marla that he's been in a loving and committed marriage for over 30 years, meaning some woman was still able to love Dynamo without his human body. So there's hope for everyone out there. Dynamo's wish for the ritual is to get his human body back and hug Marla for 3 months. Having a job in academia, Dynamo has connections to the majority of the Deadlock cast, having over 100 conversations with the cast, being a mix of complete and incomplete. Matched only by Haze and exceeded only by Holliday. Most of the cast don't want to fight him and are apologetic when they take him down.
He seemed like a decent guy. Almost feel bad.
Wish we were fighting together, Dynamo.
I don't like fighting teachers. It makes me feel weird.
I don't take pleasure in this, Dynamo.
Sorry, Professor!
Apologies, Dynamo.
Even though it's implied in his youth, he's been in plenty of scraps before.
You ready for this, Professor?
Mr. Abrams, if you think this is the first fight I've been in, you've never played Pinochle in Bristol.
One thing to note is that while he has been connected to people like Maximilian Fairfax, even being Pocket's godfather...
Are you still friends with my father?
These days, friends might be pushing it. but I'd say he has warm nostalgia for me.
He's not a good man.
He's a complicated man. There's a difference.
Not to me.
He is not a fan of what Deadlock calls the occult industrial complex. Basically replace occult with military and it's the same fucking thing. Just like how Billy's a perfect fit for the Hidden King, I don't see any other world where Dynamo doesn't join the Archmother. He's an academic with a breadth of knowledge in metaphysics and occult studies. He's a well-established and well-known figure within the Cursed Apple. The Archmother's base is a museum with lots of occult artifacts and documents.
This baby writes itself.
Raising the dead and listening to their wishes, we have Graves.
This should make my mentor happy.
A necromancer in training under the guidance of the severed hand she uses to fight others in the ritual with. She is by far my favorite character out of the new blood batch, matched only by Venator, which we'll get to much later. Her wish isn't explicitly stated, but it is implied through some of her lines that she is participating in the ritual on behalf of her master, the Lich Hand.
Your devotion to your mentor is admirable, Graves. Use what she taught you to complete the ritual.
I didn't mention this in the Apollo section, but both Graves and Apollo attend a school known as Blackmore Academy, basically an in-universe private school for the 1%. Other characters like Pocket and Mina have also attended Blackmore, and we'll see if other Blackmore alumni join in the future. Like Apollo, Graves is the daughter to very wealthy and well-respected parents. Unlike Apollo, Graves' parents don't really seem to care about her all that much, and due to their neglect, Graves has taken up being a necromancer instead. She is very fond of all the dead characters on the roster, those being Kelvin, Vindicta, and Victor. As a delinquent teenager, Graves has a hard time respecting figures of authority, whether it be Holliday, Venator, Seven, or Haze. Both Venator and Seven warn Graves about fulfilling her duties to her severed hand master.
The Lich is using you.
You don't know her.
They're all the same.
Oh my god, someone religious is being closed-minded? I wish I wore pearls so I could clutch them.
It's a real shame that you're not going to live long enough to learn the wisdom that comes with age.
Don't threaten me.
Threaten you? I'm trying to save your life.
Don't trust your mentor.
Why, because she's a lich?
No, because mentors only teach what they want you to learn. They are craven and use the young to live glories they could not achieve on their own.
She's not like that.
Oh, of course not. She sees potential in you that she's never seen in ages. You're special.
While Haze takes the recruitment approach, recognizing if Graves were to change her path, she could have potential working with her at the occult CIA-esque organization, the OSIC.
Have you started thinking about your future? The OSIC could use someone like you.
Not interested in being a Sandman.
And I'm not interested in you being one. But we have multiple divisions, and I think you might like being a medium.
That might not suck.
Think about it. You can give me a call later.
Despite this, both Haze and Venator refer to Graves being the Lich's pawn, and multiple characters call out how Graves is just being used.
When I was her age, I was lighting fires like a normal delinquent, not summoning the dead.
Let this be a lesson on the dangers of obeying a lich hand.
That hand is creepy.
Kid, you are in way over your head.
You're not the dead's master. You're their errand girl.
お前は自分が何に手を出したのかも分かっていない。
Graves strikes me as the type to join the Hidden King. I mean, if my parents were giving me the time of day and nobody other than a disembodied hand is listening to my problems, taking them seriously, and teaching me how to harness my latent necrotic powers, I'm probably putting what they think I should be doing higher over other people's opinions, no doubt. While the Archmother is certainly more aligned with themes of established authority and academia, Graves does not seem as much of a diligent student the same way that Apollo is, as hinted through the line where he calls her out for being undisciplined. For that, she's going in the Hidden King camp. Notching arrows into those who wronged him, Wesley Grey Talon hunts his prey.
The hunt is on.
One of the founding members of the renowned monster hunting organization, the Baxter Society, Grey Talon hunted monsters that threatened humankind for over 40 years. After finding a new protege, he spent the rest of his life reconnecting with his family that he neglected for so long. That all changed after a call he got one day, being told that his son and daughter-in-law were killed in a house fire accident. But Grey Talon knew better. His daughter-in-law was an Ixian. She could snuff out any fire that came her way. If fire was what claimed them, then they were long dead before the fire ever started. Now, motivated by revenge, Grey Talon hunts the ones who took his son's family from him and wishes to bring them down. There is a group in Deadlock known as the Friends of Humanity, basically a neo-inquisition of human supremacists made up of the descendants and sympathizers to the real-life John Haythorne, a man notorious during the times of the Salem witch trials for wrongly condemning and executing many innocent lives, thinking them to be practicing witchcraft. The Friends of Humanity believe that humankind are above all other species and despise all forms of supernatural species. Grey Talon suspects without a shadow of a doubt that these people are behind the deaths of his son and daughter-in-law.
You're the man making life hell for the Friends of Humanity, yes?
I am.
Thank you.
In terms of pedigree, Grey Talon is everything Calico wishes she could be.
Are you as dangerous as they say?
What do they say?
That when you retired, you had more confirmed kills than anyone in the Baxter Society?
If that's all they're saying, I'm far more dangerous.
Being a renowned monster hunter, he has a historic rivalry with Drifter, having a particularly brutal interaction between the two in their past.
Don't tell me you're still raw about Oklahoma.
No longer being part of the Baxter Society, he chose Shiv to be his replacement as the leader and holds him in high regard.
No, I'm here for my own reasons. Glad you're here, though. No one else I'd rather fight with. You're in the top 5. Okay, top 8. But I really do mean it.
As for his choice in Patron, I would place Grey Talon in the Archmother camp. Like Dynamo, Grey Talon is a very notable figure within the Deadlock world. If you were the founder of such an esteemed organization dedicated to protecting humanity from monsters for over 40 years, then no doubt he would have the utmost respect coming from me. Aside from his reputation and authority, the Hidden King has some lines that call out Grey Talon's lust for vengeance for his family, but it's the Archmother that hones in on exactly who Grey Talon is looking for.
Peace is never given to men like you, Talon. It is only borrowed. Haythorne's disciples will answer for their crimes. Together, we will make them suffer in ways unimaginable.
Something which the Hidden King doesn't have any lines about despite having telepathic abilities. Dissipating into sleep is the Dreamwalker, Haze.
You know it's bad when they send a Sandman.
Haze is a government assassin, part of the Sandman Division, one of many as part of the Occult Security and Investigation Commission, aka the OSIC. Haze's job is to infiltrate the dreams of people of interest to the OSIC, determine if they are a threat to national security, and eliminate them if they pose a true threat. Haze has some of the richest lore potential out of all the Deadlock cast, which is made even worse when you realize that some of the worst of the human population choose to play as her. If Abrams is the Pikachu poster boy of Deadlock, then Haze would be a close second in Eevee. Haze isn't here to fight for a wish she wants, but rather on official OSIC business.
I'm here on OSIC business. This assignment keeps getting weirder.
While the patrons try to sway Haze into making a wish for herself.
You've walked through countless dreams, Haze. It's time to live your own.
Haze, soon you will have to decide if you're summoning the Hidden King for the OSIC or for yourself.
Whether she intends to do so is still a mystery. Although Haze is a glorified government hitwoman, she doesn't take pride in enjoying her work like Calico or Drifter seem to do.
You like being a Sandman?
I'm good at my job.
That's not what I asked.
Stay focused on the task at hand.
Smile, Haze. You're gonna like killing people with me.
Being good at something and liking something are two different things.
While Haze is wise enough to recognize that the OSIC is a flawed organization, the ends tend to justify the means in her eyes.
How can you work for them?
I love my country.
I don't know why I'm bothering to reason with a zealot.
I'm not a zealot. The OSIC isn't perfect, and neither is the world. You of all people should understand that the ends justify the means.
Being a black box government organization, the OSIC has information on every single Deadlock hero on the roster.
I've read your file, Sheriff.
I have a file?
We're the OSIC. Of course there's a file.
That's comforting.
And they've determined that Calico and Seven are too dangerous to be left alive, and that Haze should keep an eye on the following: Doorman, Geist, Wraith, and Yamato. She is also the OSIC's best job recruiter by far, offering Abrams, Graves, Victor, and Vindicta positions at the OSIC. She would offer one to Ivy too, but thinks, quote,
"You have a big heart."
That's not a bad thing.
Of course not, but it means the bad days would stay with you. And in our line of work, you can't let it.
Patron-wise, I can't see the OSIC assigning Haze to the Hidden King. If anything, they'd most likely want the Hidden King dealt with than having to deal with the Archmother. Don't get me wrong, if it was up to the OSIC, both patrons would be in the dirt, but if one had to go, the Hidden King poses way too much of a threat to the status quo of Deadlock to have him be brought to fruition. Haze, also being part of a government organization, would most likely want to join a patron that goes against a potential threat to national security and her country at large. And as we've already established many times before, the Archmother, while somewhat of an open secret, is more accepted in the occult status quo compared to the Hidden King. Bouncing into the fray is the sheriff of Macomb, Illinois, Holliday.
You can only run from the law for so long.
Holliday was pretty content to just coast by in such a small town, but that all changed when the troubadour rolled into town. Leaving a trail of grisly corpses and crime scenes in his wake, Holliday's hunting the troubadour down to avenge all the lives lost from the town she was put in charge of. Holliday is the granddaughter of the real-life infamous gunslinger, Doc Holliday. Her gun is literally called Doc's Orders. It doesn't get more explicit than that.
Holliday. I don't suppose you're related to...
Yeah.
Long Shadow.
Try not to think about it.
Holliday takes her job very seriously. So seriously, in fact, that she threatens to take down people out of her jurisdiction, like Geist, Vindicta, and Wraith for their crimes. In regards to her revenge quest, Drifter of all people warns her to drop it for her safety.
You looking for the troubadour, right?
That's right. You got a tip for me?
Yeah, you don't want to find him. Macomb matters a lot to you, but to him it was just a fun time that'll get lost in the ocean of memory. But if you find him, if he knows he got his hooks in you, you're gonna be his hobby.
While Mirage also warns her too, the fact that one of the most evil motherfuckers on the roster is concerned for her really speaks volumes as to how far Holliday has spiraled for her vengeance quest. Top it off with a few failed marriages and the fact that she doesn't sleep in order to escape the nightmares of what she saw, and you got yourself the picture of perfect mental health.
You're not a servant of the law, you're a maniac cop.
You are no servant of the law, just an instrument of rage.
I don't think they should trust that lady with a gun.
You've lost yourself, Holliday.
And a perfect Hidden King representative. I mean, really, what story is more gripping than a cowgirl with a rugged sense of justice that is willing to go as far as it can take her to bring down the evil that has been tormenting her for years, making her the perfect candidate for the Hidden King to manipulate into joining his side.
The troubadour eludes you, Holliday, but the Hidden King can ensure that murderer gets what he deserves.
Dashing past with a fiery trail is the best bartender around, Infernus.
You got an eye for talent. I'll give you that.
Coming from a troubled past, Infernus' life took a positive turn when a man named Hank took him under his wing and gave him a job as a bartender at a place called Jezebel's. With the threat of being closed due to code violations, Infernus' wish is to prevent Jezebel's from being closed down.
What are you fighting for anyway?
Saving my friend's bar.
You're putting your life in danger over real estate?
Hank saved my life. Least I can do is save his business.
Like Abrams and Apollo, Infernus is an Ixian, a fictional race characterized by horns, tails, and the ability to manipulate fire. However, they are not demons.
You don't trust me.
Men like you call people like me demons, so no, I don't trust you.
Young man, I don't care about the circumstances of your birth. I care about who you are. I don't give a damn if you look like a monster, but if you act like one, I will put you down.
Yeah, I definitely don't trust you.
However, not every Ixian can manipulate fire, nor do they always have tails or horns, like Infernus. Infernus is a second-generation Ixian immigrant. He's never been to Ixia, being born and raised in New York City, and knowing not a speck of Ixian and only speaking English. Like Dynamo, Infernus is a well-respected public figure, known and admired by most of the cast, except for Mina, because she tried to use a really bad fake ID to try and get into Jezebel's.
Is it true you once kicked Mina Ha out of your bar?
She tried to use a fake.
Surprised she didn't just bribe you.
She tried, but ain't no amount of money worth risking Jezebel's getting shut down.
God, I would have loved to see her face.
I'm not gonna lie, it was satisfying.
Aside from that, his regular customers include characters like Abrams, Mo and Krill, Geist, Shiv, Wraith, and Victor, surprisingly, with Lady Geist even offering to help prevent Jezebel's from closing.
How is Hank?
He's nervous. The bar's not pulling in what he used to, and he's got a bunch of issues with the Alchemy Bureau.
Anything I can do to help?
You doing it right now.
Sorry to say, but I think Infernus might be a hidden kinger. It is quite obvious that Infernus as a character is moved to help the people in places that he cares deeply for.
Hank is in trouble, Infernus, and you alone have the power to save him. You're a loyal friend, Infernus. Don't let Hank down.
And the Archmother's lines to Infernus are so vague and don't capture the same intensity that Infernus has for saving Hank's bar compared to the Hidden King.
You are more than your past, Infernus. You can't undo what's been done. But this is your chance to build rather than destroy.
The Archmother also promises Infernus greater rewards than just Hank's bar being closed. But this doesn't match up to me with Infernus' characterization he's been given thus far.
Infernus, with your help, your allies will know glory.
And while Infernus might be good for now, he has no problem putting that aside in order to get results.
You got a gleam in your eye, Infernus. How long has it been since you really cut loose?
Long time.
You gonna enjoy yourself today.
You sure you want to do this?
Hank needs me. I can't let him down.
Are you nervous?
Only that I like it.
Infernus is the only Ixian so far that is joining the Hidden King. But that may change in the future if we get more Ixian representatives, which I highly suspect we will be. Flying in to save the day is the savior of Spanish Harlem, Ivy.
Helping people's what I do.
Miraculously bursting to life one day when a group of people known as the Arroyos were being harassed by some street thugs from a known crime family called the Mendoza Syndicate, Ivy fended them off and was welcomed into their family as an adopted daughter to the Arroyos. After 18 years of living with the Arroyos and dismantling the Mendoza Syndicate, Ivy now wishes to see the world beyond Spanish Harlem. Ivy has so many different wishes that I don't even know which one is more important. She wishes to keep Spanish Harlem safe, make the lives of the Arroyos better, find her life's purpose, help Carlos Arroyo become the mayor of New York. The list goes on and on. She knows she can only redeem one wish when she wins, right? I don't know if this will make sense to anyone but me, but Ivy kind of reminds me of Rey from the sequel Star Wars trilogy. Not that she's a Mary Sue, but because she is so infallibly good that she has no way to turn evil on her own. Ivy despises criminals like Vyper, Wraith, and Yamato. However, she doesn't seem to hate Seven with the same disdain. In fact, Seven respects Ivy for fighting for her ideals of justice.
You saw the world as it was and decided it was not acceptable to you. That's to be commended.
Ivy is still very naive about how the world works, and Vindicta calls her out on this.
Ivy, some might mistake your naivete for charm, but believe me when I say, it's dangerous. And if you don't smarten up soon, someone you care about is going to be hurt.
Which...
In 5 years, one of the Arroyos is going to die, and there is nothing you can do to stop it.
Patron-wise, I think Ivy goes on the Archmother's side. But wait a minute, you just said that Celeste is on the Hidden King's side, and you compared her to Ivy and how good they were. Why does Ivy go on the Archmother's side? Well, my pedantic viewer, the reason Ivy goes on the Archmother's side is due to her sense of justice. Ivy is not someone who is morally vague.
Oh, so you wanted to have moral superiority over someone you just met.
And has a deep distrust of any criminally affiliated character on the roster.
You're the gargoyle that rode Mendoza out on a rail, yes?
Pretty much.
He was a good client.
He was a bad man.
They're not mutually exclusive.
I'm surprised you wanted to team up with me.
What I want is to keep an eye on you. Stay out of Spanish Harlem, Wraith.
Now that is needlessly hostile.
I stopped you when you worked for Mendoza, and I'll stop you again. You criminals are all the same.
And I know that saying Ivy has stronger morals means nothing when the patrons don't seem to care about that when deciding champions to fight for their behalf. It's the fact that she also is connected to an affluent family in the form of the Arroyos that pulls some strings in her placement. Ivy has conversations with Dynamo about her half-sister Sophie attending his classes, she's brought her half-brother Manny to Paige's storytime readings at the library, and she enacts vigilante justice to keep the streets of Spanish Harlem safe. She's also in the good books of Haze, as she approves of Ivy's street justice.
You did good things for the city. You should feel proud.
That's a glorified Archmother joiner if I've ever seen one. Exploring what it's like to be dead, Kelvin skates on in.
The anticipation. Oh, it's exciting, yes?
Once upon a time, Kelvin was once a famed expeditioner. to be one of the first people to explore the newest astral gate said to be found somewhere in the Arctic. However, Kelvin and his team never found it, and a year and a half after departing, they never returned home. One day, a fishing boat running its routine routes trawl what looks to be the corpse of Kelvin, clutching a glowing rock with runes etched into the surface. What shocked the fishermen the most was that Kelvin was alive. Despite having no blood or pulse, Kelvin was alive. Now back in the Cursed Apple, Kelvin seeks to find out what happened during the expedition all those years ago. Kelvin is considered an ice wight, but he thinks he's more of a revenant.
So you're a wight?
Some people say revenant, but I'm not sure if there's really a difference.
He also wrestles with survivor's guilt regarding his Arctic expedition.
You wrestle with so much guilt. The things you know you did, and even more horrifying, the things you forgot.
To compensate, he meets with the family members of his crew to give them some closure. Despite feeling guilty and being dead, Kelvin is one of the most positive and optimistic characters on the roster.
You have no issues with being a grotesque mirror of humanity.
My friend, we were gifted unnatural life. Don't squander it. Travel. Write a book. Find love.
Kelvin to me also fits as a good Archmother joiner. He's a famed explorer who has knowledge regarding all sorts of scientific and occult phenomena, and he's famous within the Deadlock universe, having published multiple books regarding his expeditions. He's probably also donated some of his relics that he acquired during said expeditions to the Archmother Museum.
An explorer is just a thief that specializes in stealing from the dead.
And to top it all off, he's also good friends with Dynamo, who's also part of the Archmother team.
This story writes itself. Two men of science fighting to get our lives back.
Making Faustian bargains is the French socialite, Lady Jeanne Geist.
Do you have the stomach to do what needs to be done?
Born in 1815, Jeanne married German artist Johann Geist and bore a son named Walter in 1850. As Geist grew older and her beauty began to fade in the waves of time, that's when the first maelstrom occurred, and with it came Oathkeeper, a powerful spirit that came to Geist at her lowest and offered her a deal: stay youthful forever in exchange for draining the life force of other people. Geist accepted, but was more cunning than she let Oathkeeper know, as she plotted with her son to create a ward that would keep Oathkeeper in check, and allowed Geist the freedom to operate how she pleased. After 50 years of feeding, the ward is beginning to falter, and now, Geist's motivation in the ritual is to keep Oathkeeper from breaking free and consuming her. Being among the oldest of the Deadlock cast, Lady Geist is a well-connected socialite who knows about most of the goings-on with the cast. She's offered to help save Hank's bar, help to fund Kevin's Arctic expedition, and recognizes who Pocket is even after the assassination attempt on their life. Geist also has a foundation to help the homeless, but I doubt she's doing much helping as much as it is a front to give Oathkeeper fresh blood to keep their deal going. Geist is so obviously an Archmother joiner, like how I alluded to earlier with Calico and eventually with Mina. Geist is a woman who cares immensely about her public image.
I can't believe I'm about to be seen with a criminal.
I think public image is the least of your worries.
It's the only thing to worry about. If I die, I won't have to deal with the shame of associating with you.
She is old money rich. She wants only the finest of the fine.
You seem to be short on friends, Lady Geist.
I don't need friends. That's what money is for.
Added by the fact that she dislikes anything that isn't as pristine as her lifestyle.
I don't mean to be rude.
This should be good.
Your clothes.
What about them?
They're horrible.
Good talk.
So she wouldn't be caught dead in that filth dump of a factory the Hidden King has, that's for sure. Geist lives and breathes the high life, and that's what she'll get, even if she has to kill to stay that way. Swinging in from the top rope is the Lash.
Oh, I'll summon the patrons, but just so I can tell them, you're welcome.
Jacob Lash is more than just an asshole. Lash is a renowned champion fighter of the Bear Pit, an underground fight club where spectators gamble on matches to see who comes out on top. While his wish is currently unknown,
I know exactly what I'm wishing for.
Other than that, Lash is referred to as a stevedore, also known as an airship or dock worker, as evidenced by his anchor tattoos and the fact that his ult has ship horn sound effects. As an asshole, Lash has nicknames for most of the cast that he uses. Some of my favorites include Bluey for Abrams, Smoke Show for Haze, Matchstick for Infernus, Sally Succubus for Geist, Little Miss Fishbowl Head for Paradox, Patches for Victor, Forearms for Wraith, and Mamacita for Yamato. I was initially going to put Lash on the Hidden King side, however that changed when I placed a certain scrap golem over there. See, one very notable part of Lash's story is that he has a hate-fueled rivalry with Bebop, for reasons we aren't privy to yet, other than the fact that Lash seemed to lose to Bebop one single time.
One time's all it takes to be a loser.
Shut up.
Realistically, there's no reason why they both can't be on the same side, as having rivals work together despite their hatred is narratively satisfying. But from my perspective, it's much more satisfying to have rivals face off against each other to see who's actually better than the other. Although the Hidden King has a line that implies Lash is hiding some facet of himself from what we see.
You cultivate an image, Lash, but I alone know who you truly are.
The Archmother, by comparison, knows exactly how to manipulate Lash to join her side.
The world hates you, Lash, for when they gaze upon you, they realize all that they can never achieve. But soon, your critics will be silenced.
Preying upon Lash's arrogance as something people should be envious of would help Lash choose her side, as Lash is no stranger to boasting and showing off just for the hell of it, and to prove he's better than everyone. Plus, being on the opposite side to Bebop encourages him all the more to want to take him down, whether for the spectacle or for real. Because every hero shooter needs a turret character, McGinnis fills that role.
So, you need an engineer, huh?
McGinnis is the worst type of gifted student, the one that just coasts by with their innate talent for creating occult weapons of mass destruction in exchange for being paid a Fortune 500 level paycheck every 2 weeks.
You were a prodigy, McGinnis.
I still am.
I think it's safe to say you plateaued.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
You are a woman who executes pedestrian ideas at the highest level. That makes you a master craftsman, but far from a visionary.
If only she didn't make a soul refining machine, she wouldn't have been scouted by Maximilian Fairfax and would later become the head of Fairfax's military R&D department. She doesn't even have the decency to participate in the ritual for a wish, just a chance to test some weaponry. Being an arms manufacturer, McGinnis is inadvertently responsible for the deaths of millions.
Your creations are responsible for the deaths of millions, McGinnis. You're a monster.
And to top it all off, she hates being around other people, so she doesn't really care.
Just to give you a heads up, I plan on picking a lot of fights today.
Good. I hate people.
But it's not like she will just let people die just because. After all, I don't know what kind of character that has a healing ability would just let people die for no reason. Out of sight, out of mind, I suppose. I don't want to talk about McGinnis more than I have to, but at least she doesn't have that much lore to talk about, so we can get to someone more fun soon enough. She lives in the shadows of more important characters that she's related to through her boss's business. At the very least, she's very fun to play with if all you want to do is piss off your opponents. Tangentially related to McGinnis, I want to take a quick moment to highlight some of the best weapon names in the game. We got Case Closed, The Vonnegun, Censure and Penance, New Money, Trade Secret, Cold Calculus, 5120, Memento Mori, Deep Sea Interpreter, and Wallflower's Revenge. I think McGinnis would make a great Hidden King rep. This is hard to talk about right now since it would spoil the placement I have for another character later down the line, so all I'll say about McGinnis right now regarding her placement is that while she doesn't love working there, the fact that she's paid a fortune makes things worth it for her, which means she's available to the person who can pay her the most. Maximilian Fairfax just happens to be that person, coupled with the fact that she doesn't really abide by ethics the same way people like Dynamo or Kelvin do, and you have an excellent Hidden King rep. Peppering the enemy with love bites is the bratty bat lady Mina.
God, I look good today.
Mina, rise up and take what you deserve.
Shout out to all the SK fans out there. I know I should really hate Mina, but it's impossible for me. She's unlikably likable.
Oh, I want to save Miss Shelley so she doesn't die. Whatever. Aw, you stumbled out of hospice just to die here. Blah, 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 Macomb massacre, blah, blah. You don't have to yell everything, Jesus. I'm a genius. Nah, but you're dead. I hate your stupid face, I hate your stupid attitude, and I hate your stupid Midwest accent. You tried to assassinate me? Who do I look like? Aaron Fairfax?
Mina is the ultimate spoiled brat. Having rich parents, graduated from Blackmore, and was arranged to be married to the heir of Fairfax Industries, Aaron Fairfax. She was happy as long as she had the status to do what she wanted. And then her fiance was assassinated. No! Now, Mina was obviously devastated by this, but not because her fiancé was killed, but because she couldn't marry into the family before he was. Her silver spoon future was taken from her, and when things go wrong in Mina's life, the one thing that always works for her is to get her parents to fix it. And the way they thought to fix Mina's life was to turn her into a vampire. But not even that was enough to fix her issues. Just because she's a vampire now doesn't mean that you are automatically accepted by other vampires. She may have prestiged, but now she's back to square one again. She now participates in the ritual to become the Viscount of New York. Or I guess in Mina's case, Viscountess. Aside from being a vampire, Mina is also a fashion designer, even though she might not be very good at that either.
Personally, I find her fashion line to be overwrought, but who am I to judge?
Mina is very antagonistic to everyone except for Victor and Lady Geist because they're both hot. And much like Lady Geist, she would definitely join the Archmother's side, no doubt. Be so for real with me, do you really see Mina Ha, the most privileged, stuck-up, spoiled silver spoon brat of a character, slumming it up in the Hidden King's base? Do you really picture Mina living it up in downtown Cursed Apple with all the rundown apartment buildings and brownstones compared to the high-class, pristine marble neighborhoods of uptown Cursed Apple? I highly doubt it. She would complain, belittle, and antagonize everyone unfortunate enough to be on the Hidden King's side with her. And there's no doubt in my mind that Mina would spare no expense to be able to join the Archmother. While she also might complain about how gaudy or cliche the aesthetics of the Archmother are, one thing you gotta know about Mina is that she gets everything she wants and everything she needs. Mina values her public image and her ability to climb social ladders so that she can get more clout. And the potential clout you can get from joining the Archmother seems to be much higher than the Hidden King, as seen through the aesthetic building differences between both sides. Because of that, she's going on the Archmother's side. Carrying out his duties to the Jinn, Mirage stands on business.
I will die before I fail you.
After the first Maelstrom, one of the more particular species to emerge from the Astral Gates were the Jinn, a people that possess great power at the cost of being confined to a vessel, as they are unable to maintain a corporeal form for longer than 48 minutes. Due to this heavenly restriction, the Jinn seek the help of human bodyguards for all sorts of needs, like transportation, protection, or even companionship. Under the employ of Jinn Ambassador Nishala, Mirage is on a diplomatic mission to help Nishala and the Jinn secure a deal with the US government so that the Jinn can buy a piece of Wyoming to create a nation for all Jinn to live. His participation in the ritual is to secure this deal for Nishala. Mirage and Nishala have been working together for a few years, and he is deeply loyal to his employer, which is good because according to Mirage,
some are fascinating, some are assholes.
Mirage is so loyal to Nishala that you can't even talk to Nishala without getting Mirage's permission first.
You're Ambassador Nashala's bodyman, yes?
Correct.
When the ritual is complete, I'd love to have a chat with her.
What is it regarding?
That's not your concern.
But it is. When you decide that you wish to be forthright, let me know, and I'll consider your request.
Aside from his duties, whenever he is off duty, Mirage likes to go bowling, it seems.
When she rests, I get to go bowling.
Bowling?
I learned about it in England. It is the sport of kings.
Between the patrons, I deem the Archmother more appropriate for Mirage than the Hidden King. The Hidden King has a line where he tries to tempt Mirage into making a wish for himself.
You dedicated your life to service, Mirage. Perhaps it's time to think about what you want.
Now, Mirage is not a man that would abandon his charge for a chance to fulfill his own whims. That is not his modus operandi. The Archmother says it plainly so in her own line to him.
Mirage, you're a man of service, of action. Complete the ritual and earn your just reward.
It is entirely possible that Nishala could consider the Hidden King to be a more reputable patron to earn the favor of, as Mirage highlights how, quote,
sometimes it's frustrating when Nishala makes impulsive, short-sighted decisions.
Such as?
Asking me to trust you.
Oh, you're fun.
However, we as the player don't play as Nashala. We aren't able to hear her perspective no matter what point in the game we're in. All we're privy to is Mirage's perspective, and I would suspect that Mirage would want the best chances for Nashala at achieving their goal, to which the Archmother would give them the best shot, as it is implied that the Archmother helped to found New York City itself, as evidenced by the City Mother Bank found by the York Lane Walker and the whole New Amsterdam Drifter discovery. Couple that with the final bit in her blurb on the Deadlock website, and it's pretty strong evidence to suggest that the Archmother has always had a strong presence over the Cursed Apple, all the way back to its inception, and as such, would best know how to help Mirage and Nashala make a nation for the Jinn. For those reasons, Mirage goes in the Archmother camp. Slumming it up in the sewers are the Tunnel Rat brothers, Maurice and Krill.
I got the gun, he's got the claws.
A mole man and whatever the fuck. Mo and Krill are mercenaries that help facilitate black market trade within New York, and when people try to exploit the Tunnel Rat brothers, they usually send Mo and Krill to straighten them out. Their wish in the ritual is to get the respect that they think is owed to them. Despite being mercenary criminals, both Mo and Krill are aspiring artists, with Krill writing a memoir while Mo wants to audit a pottery class at Columbia College. They also saved Pocket's life after their attempted assassination, and have lived together for the past 5 years in the sewers of New York. Mo and Krill are well connected with certain criminal members of the cast, having worked with Wraith in the past and participate in her poker games.
Do you remember last week's card game?
We're about to summon the patron, and you're worried about $50.
We owe Wraith money.
They're also good friends with Abrams and Infernus, and have also offered to help Jezebels from closing. Overall, they're both reliable guys that just want to help and achieve their own greatness. The same cannot be said for the cretins that play them in game. As for their patron of choice, the Hidden King fits way too well for them. Their wish is a prime example. They want the respect that has yet to be given to them for all the work that they've done, which the Hidden King plainly says as much. Whereas the Archmother comments mainly on how they've endured being tossed aside for so long, not commenting on how they deserve it.
Maurice, Krill, men of your talent shouldn't be sulking in the shadows. You've been forced to live on the margins for far too long, but the Hidden King sees you and values you. Summon him.
Aside from that, their lore is pretty bare bones, and the interactions they have with other characters give little to sway what patron they would join. For now, they're slumming it up with the Hidden King. Flipping the script on her victory is the steadfast scribe, Paige.
Who am I to resist a perfectly good prophecy?
Paige grew up surrounded by books and a family that taught her how to be kind and compassionate to those around her. While Paige may have openly accepted these values, her younger brother Bryce had a harder time adopting their mindset. He wanted to experiment with magic that his parents deemed as dangerous, and while Paige tried to keep him out of danger, that only led Bryce into more danger, until one day he didn't come home. Over the years since his departure, Paige's obsession with finding Bryce has only grown, and is now seeking out the patrons to find out what happened to him. Being a bookworm, Paige has references to so many real-world books, plays, and poems.
It's St. Crispin's Day, baby! I need to go full Iago and ruin their life. That guy wants to be Heathcliff so bad, but at the end of the day, he's just a dime store Mr. Collins. The bad guys never get away with it. Well, Moriarty kind of does, but then Doyle gave up on his conviction, so it doesn't count. I feel like George to his Lenny.
And my personal favorite.
So long, Lady Dorian Gray.
Like I alluded to in the Celeste section, Paige is one of the few characters that are genuinely, infallibly good, and has no way of becoming a bad person on her own without outside influence from other people. But even then, I don't think she'd ever turn full bad.
You're a monster, but I will protect you.
Interestingly, some characters like Haze, Vyper, and Venator have met Bryce before and have some choice words to say about it.
Let your brother go, Paige. You'll be happier.
Her brother was just like way more fun to hang out with.
She's throwing away her life to save someone who doesn't deserve it.
Which is helpful in understanding what kind of path he went down, if Vyper of all people is saying he's fun to be around. Patron-wise, it would be kind of stupid not to put the character most associated with books with the patron also heavily associated with being all-knowing and explicitly shown to have lots of valuable books. While she has another one of those characters where both patrons say the exact same thing to her word for word, it just feels wrong to put her in the Hidden King filth dump where the only thing to read is probably the instruction manual for their conveyor belts. She 150% belongs with the Archmother and there is no dispute.
I got plot armor.
Swapping your place in time and space is paradox.
Don't expect me to explain how this all works. Just be happy that it works.
Just a bored rich Scottish woman, Paradox are both a person and an established thieves guild made up of other bored rich people that steal the most valuable items of the world just because they can. And the stuff they do steal gets put in display at their countless pop-up museums to prove that they are the best and that nothing is out of reach for them. She also knows how to manipulate time, but she doesn't give away the finer details of how it all works.
So how does time manipulation work?
I have no idea.
That's not particularly helpful.
It's almost like I don't give away secrets for free.
Paradox has a few wishes going into the ritual. She wants to prove herself to the Paradox organization, to steal something from the patrons, and to become the leader of the Paradox organization.
Paradox, your mind is ablaze with possibilities. I look forward to seeing what you claim as your reward for completing the ritual.
While being quite witty and playful, she takes the Paradox organization very seriously.
So, what's your story, lady? You fall in a vat of clocks?
It's not wise to mock Paradox.
Yeah, you're real spooky.
For all the might your organization wields, you waste it on publicity stunts.
We don't need to explain ourselves to you.
I would settle for you explaining it to anyone.
Being a thief, Paradox has stolen plenty of priceless artifacts, including some of Johann Geist's paintings, the Tome of Anubis, and Seven's hideout location, as well as many other things. As for things they have their eye on stealing, those would be Abrams' tome, Celeste's horn, Holliday's revolver, McGinnis' research, Paige's books, Pocket's suitcase, and Yamato's sword. As for the patrons, Paradox is a sly fox. I'd imagine the Archmother would be who she decides to join. The most obvious reason being that the Archmother has a line about telling Paradox to prove her worth by stealing the Hidden King's crown.
You seek the validation of your colleagues, Paradox? Then steal the crown of the Hidden King and become legend.
However, I'd argue there's an even easier argument to make as to why Paradox would join the Archmother. After all, where else would you find more priceless artifacts to steal for yourself than a museum dedicated to summoning an elder god? The Archmother's base has got to be a treasure trove of eldritch artifacts and such for Paradox to get her grubby little hands on. What's Paradox gonna steal from the Hidden King other than his crown? A bunch of speakers? Maybe since it's a Fairfax factory, there might be some blueprints for occult weaponry lying around unnoticed. But aside from that, the Archmother's base just feels way too juicy for Paradox to pass up, I'm afraid. Hiding away from their Viper zest of a family, Pocket plans their takeover.
I've waited years for this. I can't waste this chance.
The eldest heir to Fairfax Industries, an industrial organization that specializes in building spirit weaponry, Aaron Fairfax had a close brush with death after being shot and left to die on their 18th birthday. Hanging on by a thread thanks to a magical briefcase, Aaron survived and has been living in hiding for the last 5 years thanks to the Tunnel Rat brothers, taking on the name Pocket as a further precaution. Pocket's wish in the ritual is to stop their father, Maximilian Fairfax, and to take control of Fairfax Industries.
Only you can change Fairfax Industries for the better, Pocket. Complete the ritual and make the world a safer place.
One thing the Fairfaxes are heavily associated with are frogs. From the statue of Walter Fairfax with the frogs crawling on his legs, to Pocket's briefcase carrying spiritual frogs, as well as with his ult where he spews frogs out and afflicts everyone. But out of all animals, why frogs? This might be a bit of a stretch, but my hypothesis as to why has got to do with souls. The soul orbs you collect during every game of Deadlock you play look eerily like frog eggs. Pocket's barrage ability looks similar to firing out the same souls you collect, and the soul urn has frog-like legs on the bottom. All this frog imagery is tied heavily to souls. What that could possibly mean in the grand scheme of Deadlock, I haven't the slightest clue, quite frankly, but I hope to find out one day. Patron-wise, Pocket would make a strong Hidden King candidate, and this is where the McGinnis connection comes into play. Pocket's goal is to take control of Fairfax Industries away from his father, Maximilian.
I am the rightful heir of Fairfax Industries, and it will be mine.
Imagine your Pocket for a second. By chance, you find the head of research and development of your father's company that just so happens to be competing for the same wish opportunity that you are, and in McGinnis's case, she operates on who will pay her the most to keep her making her scientific inventions, and she finds out that the eldest son of her boss is competing for the same wish opportunity she is. Does this not sound like a crazy compelling story? Their goals, while different, are also aligned in the sense that they both profit off of them winning the ritual. Pocket gets their father's company out of his evil hands, and McGinnis gets to keep making toys while being paid, this time by Pocket instead of Maximilian. While it is true that Pocket loathes McGinnis in some capacity for working under their father,
you're complicit, McGinnis. Karma's coming for you, Maggie.
I think that makes it even more compelling. Putting aside personal grudges in order to achieve personal goals makes for amazing story arcs, and I see so much potential in this dynamic duo of Pocket McGinnis on behalf of the Hidden King. Stealing all the sinner's sacrifices, Rem lurks through the tunnels.
I summon Patron, then I go home.
A familiar from the world of dreams, Rem accidentally found himself transported to the Cursed Apple one day, and he doesn't know how he got there. Armed with his lucky pillow, Rem is determined to make it home, and curiously wanders around to find people who can help him find his way back to his dreamy homeland. Valve deserves nothing but praise for making a child character as annoying as they are endearing.
Do dead people dream?
I think so.
Why can't I talk to them?
You gotta listen.
But if I'm listening, I can't ask them questions like, what's your favorite color? And why does bread taste good? And do you think cats would smoke if they had thumbs?
What are you?
I'm Rem.
Not who, what?
I'm Rem. You have a hat, and I have a hat.
That's right.
We're hat brothers. They say if you snooze, you lose, but that's not true, because I snooze all the time, and look at me now. I think people would like her more if she stopped trying to stab everybody.
Hey, yo!
Don't worry, Vyper. One day I'll have money, and then you can mug me. He was like a big leprechaun with a gun. For the gin!
Rem is kind of like Drifter. I'm sure this is the only time someone has compared Drifter to Rem. Rem is kind of like Drifter, where he could fit into either the Hidden King or the Archmother, and it would work out. Unlike Drifter, Rem is more of a hopeless, lost puppy than a mangy, rabies-infested hound that mauls anyone he sees, and it would make more sense for him to be put on the Archmother's side. Both patrons say the same lines to him word for word, so nothing they say really adds to my argument. However, there's one character that is tied very close to Rem that I think he would definitely want to be close to for the ritual, and that is Haze. Haze and Rem have met prior to the ritual taking place, and have the closest connection between each other compared to other members of the cast.
You shouldn't be here.
If you're fine, I'm fine.
I'm going to get you home.
I trust you. You're my mom.
And even though a certain escaped convict has some choice words about his choice in allies,
if the ritual fails and you're on your own, stay away from anyone who mentions the OSIC.
Aside from that, there isn't a whole lot to go off of with the little guy, but my gut is telling me the Archmother is the right call. Too evil to die and too smart to be left alive, Seven runs amok with ideations of godhood.
With these hands I will destroy, and with these hands I will rebuild.
Not a whole lot is known about Seven's past, but we do know it was full of breaking government rules, which ended in his imprisonment in Lost Whisper, an Alcatraz-level prison for the most dangerous occultist criminals, which later led to his execution. He was to be sentenced not just to death, but complete soul obliteration, taking no chances to allow his spirit to come back through the astral gates. As the procedure started, the mentalists who were meant to put him down were all obliterated by the eldritch electricity meant to end the Seven's existence. Now, having escaped Lost Whisper, Seven hides away in the underground tunnels of the Cursed Apple until he can ascend to something greater.
He flies backwards with he doesn't dip at all. He flies like a line drive backwards against the wall. And he goes "Coo!" He hits the wall with all of his limbs outstretched and then slides straight down like they cranked gravity up to 10x. And then dust flies up from the floor. But then the electricity doesn't take right away. The dude is so evil that he can't get killed by lightning. So he's kind of he's fighting back against the electricity, and the lights are going out. The light bulbs are exploding and shit. And you can see he's gripping the manacles so hard that the wood on the chair is starting to splinter and stuff.
Seven's wish is to become a god and wants to be powerful enough to have the patrons bow down to him.
You will see what true power looks like.
This is showcased even through his chestplate numbers, as they're a form of goroawase, a form of Japanese wordplay with numbers. His chestplate number reads 4279, which in Japanese reads as Shi ni na ku, which translates to become unkillable. 7 is quite the convicted man, and hates seeing wasted potential. He has several interactions with the more magically inclined heroes, urging them to indulge in their powers regardless of how others see them.
I don't understand you, Professor. You've been bestowed a great gift, and you're willing to throw it all away for nothing. All your power and you waste it as a bartender? You mask your power in a circus sideshow.
The Hidden King would easily welcome a person like 7, someone with visions of grandeur so magnificently large in scope, they can't possibly hope to achieve it without their help.
The weak-minded sought your destruction, but you survived, and now you take your prize.
While the Archmother could easily help out with that goal, 7 is a character that is already not known to play by the rules of society, so much so it almost got his soul atomized into the ethereal plane. So I doubt he would also seek the help of such a patron associated with established authority. Also, it's just bad planning to willingly put yourself on the same team as the person hired by the government to put you in the ground right after you win or lose the ritual. Throwing knives and taking lives, Shiv dashes in.
Leave this to a professional.
A loyal member and newly appointed leader of the Baxter Society, Shiv fights the good fight against malevolent monsters that prey on humanity. While his wish is unknown, he is fighting in the ritual to prove his worth to the Baxter Society so they don't doubt his leadership.
I'll prove to the old man that I'm worthy.
Before joining the Baxter Society, Shiv had a criminal past of which not much is known.
Yours is a bloody past, Shiv, but there is a life beyond it.
It must have been pretty troubled though, seeing how Venator is waiting for him to slip back into his old ways.
If he strays from the path, you won't be able to protect him from us.
Regardless, Shiv regards the Baxter Society as the ones to turn his life around, and that his change of heart is due to great Talon training him as his protege. However, there's also a chance his change of heart is the result of something he took that doesn't belong to him.
You took something that doesn't belong to you, Shiv.
Which I would infer would be the glowing red jewel thing that glows when his rage reaches max in game. One thing I find very interesting with Shiv is his gun's name, Busted Flush. It refers to two things. The first, more obvious one being a poker hand where you play 4 cards of the same suit with one of a different suit. But it also has another meaning. It also refers to an old adage regarding someone promising that turns out to fail their own potential. That makes Shiv Potential Man Incarnate. Patron-wise, Shiv goes with his other Baxter Society members on the Archmother's side. For once, it's the Hidden King that goes vague when prompting Shiv to do his bidding.
You were given a second chance, Shiv. Don't squander it. Summon the Hidden King.
Compared to what the Archmother tells him.
You found a new family in the Baxter Society, and now you fear them turning on you. A life spent looking over your shoulder is no life at all. Summon the Archmother, Shiv, and know that your future is secure.
Plus, characters I've placed on the Archmother's side, like Haze and Ivy, have an admiration for Shiv and his work as part of the Baxter Society, while characters on the Hidden King's side have a loathing for him, like Celeste or Drifter's Disappointment. He completes the Baxter Society trio in joining the Archmother. Bringing you in for a price is the misanthropic lycanthrope, Lila Silver.
I'm gonna be washing a whole lot of blood out of my fur tonight.
It would be an understatement to say that Silver is a hot mess. She's not nearly on the same level of degenerate as a certain snake lady is, but she's definitely in a similar situation. Her wish in the ritual is to get a lot of money and get her life together.
Lila Silver, yours is a complicated life. But if you complete the ritual, the Archmother will make sure you thrive.
I'm doing this for money, and, well, just money.
Unlike that certain snake lady, Silver is a good enough person that she's never been to prison, but she's only ever bounty hunted before as a job, not because she likes it, but because nothing else pays the rent better than bounty hunting.
You seem cool.
I am cool.
You always want to be a bounty hunter?
Nah, I always wanted to not be homeless, so I decided to do whatever paid the most.
Silver has also put Vyper in jail before.
Vyper, how many times do we have to do this? You can keep breaking out of Rikers all you want. I'll keep sending your ass back there.
Putting her at least a couple tiers higher above Vyper on the girl failure tier list. What doesn't help things is that Silver is also a lycanthrope. I don't know why Valve uses werewolf and lycanthrope interchangeably. I guess it just makes things easier for them, I guess. Even though they aren't the same thing at all, but this video is long enough, I can't get into it. One thing to keep in mind going forward with future lore is that Silver has some really bad blood with Shiv.
I don't give a shit what the Baxter Society says. People don't change.
Going so far as to tell Great Talon that.
I can't believe you took up for a man like him, but you're gonna reap what you sow.
One thing I've noticed that Deadlock loves is its foils. Bebop and Lash, Kelvin and Seven, and now Shiv and Silver. And out of the three I just listed, the potential dynamic these two have as foils is compelling as hell. It is implied through some earlier designs that Shiv was supposed to be some kind of werewolf slash beast before he was changed to what he is now. Where Silver struggles with addiction and thinks she's incapable of changing her ways, Shiv was given that second chance and takes measures to better himself, going so far as to remove his curse and prove to everyone around him that he can change, which makes this a very personal hatred for Silver, I imagine. I'm very excited to see where this can potentially go, and I hope you guys are as well, now that I've laid it out for you. Patron-wise, I don't really see Silver as the Archmother type. Silver has a history of being kicked out of many high-class establishments before. One notable example being that she's been kicked out of the Baroness during brunch for some unexplained reason.
You get kicked out of brunch one time and everyone thinks they know you.
Aside from that, the Hidden King does have a line where he mentions that the Archmother has once called out to Silver before.
Silver, you've never been a slave to the moon, and you refused the Archmother's call to be her thrall. Destroy her, complete the ritual, and live free.
Implying that while she has called out to her, she decided to ignore it. Until Silver finds out a healthier way to cope with being incapable of change, she's staying with the Hidden King on this one. Performing feats of misdirection so potent it killed them both, we have the magnificent Henry and the spectacular Savannah.
Can we please pretend to like each other for 60 minutes? I'm gonna be optimistic and say, sure.
Henry and Savannah Sinclair were high school sweethearts that bonded over their love of stage magic. They fell head over heels hard for each other and created a stage act together. They were so in love that they binded their souls to be together for eternity. That would come to bite them in the ass when they lost their lives in a freak stage accident, with no one really sure who was to blame for it.
It's a shame what's become of them.
Now living as two souls tied together in a fake body, the Sinclairs are participating in the ritual so that they can get a soul unbinding divorce. If you're thinking I'm about to go into their character interactions, you'd be dead wrong. Sinclair are the most incomplete character in this game, even more so than Vyper and Yamato. At least they have working models and voice lines. Sinclair doesn't even get that. They're forced to participate without having the things that make Deadlock characters interesting. I can't even come up with a compelling argument as to what patron they joined because there's very little to go off of from them. I'm just gonna chuck them in the Hidden King bargain bin until they get more fleshed out as a character. And now we move on to a character that is eons more finished than Sinclair currently is. Blazing the trail so that others may follow, the Venator sets his mark.
Evil stirs in New York, and so the Vatican has called on me. I don't get to walk the righteous path. I blaze the trail so that others may do so safely.
Father Quinn Rourke is one of very few active members of a Vatican-sanctioned order of monster slayers known as the Venators, and is currently the 48th member of said order. Venator's goal isn't to get a wish granted, it's to kill the patrons.
He copied my whole fucking flow! Word for word, bar for bar!
Neither the Hidden King nor the Archmother are safe while the Venator still breathes. Venator is the walking definition of a zealot.
That priest was a maniac.
That guy is unhinged. I thought you were supposed to hunt monsters.
And he directs his fury towards malicious creatures or objects, like the tome Abrams carries, Graves' Lich Hand, and Oathkeeper. Venator is also not the saint his design paints himself to be. He takes extreme measures to get the results he needs to be successful.
You ever worked with a Venator before?
No.
Well, just to set expectations, we can be a bit exuberant in our methods.
I appreciate the importance of being thorough.
Then we should have no problems. Hate my methods all you want, I saved lives.
As long as he can get those results, he can sleep soundly at night that what he has done will keep others safe in the future. Patron-wise, Venator definitely fits the type to be an Archmother joiner. While church and state are supposed to be separated, fact of the matter is the church was at one point the highest authority in the world and held a firm grip on the status quo. Despite both patrons being on Venator's hit list, the Archmother fits within the status quo of the world more cleanly than the Hidden King, I'd argue. Although there's also another patron killer that we'll get to soon. Venator acts on behalf of orders directed by their institution, while the other acts on behalf of their lineage and the safety of the common people. With that in mind, Venator goes in the Archmother camp. Restitching himself together is the shambling mound of flesh named Victor.
Forget figuring out my purpose in life. I just want to know who my left arm belongs to.
Being made up of a different mix of body parts, Victor has no idea as to who made him or who he's made out of. Victor's wish in the ritual is twofold: to find out who made him and who he's made out of. Although he's more focused with finding who he's made out of rather than who his creator was. I'll say this much about Victor: whatever creator made him also made sure to inject him with some kind of super pheromone because all the Deadlock ladies love him.
Geist, keep running your mouth and you'll be the prettiest little corpse on Manhattan. Well, second prettiest. Victor's got a lot going for him.
Too bad. He was kind of cool.
Self-pity doesn't suit you, Victor.
Smile more, Victor. Life is more fun that way.
So, Victor, I'm not sure what your plans are after the ritual.
Depends on what I glean from the patron. Could be anything from doing research to traveling on a bus to shaking down a mass murderer.
I was talking about dinner.
Oh, I don't know. Get a hot dog?
My son's a doctor. You should speak to him.
What?
Your condition is only going to worsen without someone to maintain you, and Johan is one of the best in New York. I'll introduce you when this ritual business is concluded.
Why are you being nice to me?
I don't know, but speak of it to no one.
I'm sure you're self-conscious about the whole corpse thing, but I bet if you were in a dimly lit club, you'd be a Midwest 8, New York 6.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
And then you have Paige.
You know, earlier I made a joke about Byronic Heroes, but seeing you here makes it less of a joke and more like I made my high school diary come to life.
Thanks.
Never put on a shirt.
You got it.
Aside from that, Victor's just a sad, mopey guy that just wants answers, something which other characters aren't as sympathetic towards.
We all got problems, Victor. Yours aren't special.
Jesus, Victor. Would it kill you to smile?
Victor, just get out of my way and file a missing persons report on your arm or something.
That guy thinks he's the only ones with problems here.
And something that the Archmother could provide.
You're in pain, Victor. More than you ever let on. More than any could ever know. But it need not be the case. Complete the ritual, and let our mother be the balm to soothe you.
Sure, the Hidden King might also have answers, but the Archmother, as has been argued to death by now, is well associated with libraries, academia, and information gathering, with her base being a literal museum. He's also on the Archmother's side for one niche reason, and that is Kelvin. Whenever either Victor or Kelvin kill each other, they have this to say.
I was hoping us corpses could stick together.
So much for the dead sticking together.
Meaning they initially promised they'd stick together, both being dead and all. And with Kelvin already being an established Archmother sider, Victor would most likely follow suit. Also, how poetic that the man unnaturally brought into the world goes to the mother of the cursed apple to find answers for his birth and existence. Flying high to get the perfect shot, Vindicta scopes out her next target.
Death comes for everyone eventually. I'm just giving time a helping hand.
A victim of the Salem witch trials, Vindicta was wrongly condemned as a child and put to death. After 200 years, she was given a second chance when she was brought back to life as a ghost during the first Maelstrom. Now armed with a lust for vengeance and her trusty Wallflower's Revenge, what a raw name for a gun, good lord. Vindicta's wish is to hunt down the remaining descendants of John Haythorne's bloodline, putting an end to his cause and the friends of humanity at large. While the Salem witch trials were about condemning witchcraft, Vindicta is quite adamant in proclaiming that she isn't a witch at all, as, quote,
"Witches are people. They have wants and dreams. All I have is revenge, and the undying will to see it through."
Vindicta's actions and goings-on are well known in America.
You're the one I read about in the papers, right?
Depends what you read.
That known associates of John Haythorne and the Friends of Humanity have been winding up dead.
That could be me or Wesley.
They were shiny head with a high-powered rifle.
Yeah, that was me.
As well as Ixia, believe it or not, with Apollo mentioning that she has an Ixian nickname.
You know, they speak of you in Ixia. They call you Hasha Vogali, Death's Whisper.
Vindicta has hunted the Friends of Humanity alongside Great Talon before, and they both consider themselves to be friends and comrades in arms.
Wesley, I just wanted you to know that if I had a father like you, I don't think I would have died.
You deserved better. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I got to meet you.
Vindicta has Hidden King written all over her. As a character, Vindicta definitely doesn't abide by any laws, and that really makes established authority angry, particularly the OSIC. Haze labels Vindicta as a domestic terrorist, which I get where she's coming from, but to me that just highlights the double standard of how it's okay when the government deems it necessary to kill people that they assign as threats, but when individuals are wrongly harmed and take up arms, they are given such unflattering labels like domestic terrorist. While Haze does go out of her way to recruit Vindicta, she's not at all enthused about joining the OSIC.
Are you interested in joining the OSIC?
I think I've had my fill of state-sanctioned murder.
Out of all the potential targets the OSIC has on their radar, the Friends of Humanity seem to bypass them entirely, which either means A, they're not dangerous enough to warrant Sandman intervention, or B, they're just complicit in what they're letting them get away with, which both make the OSIC look inarguably bad no matter how you slice it. Also, as should be customary at this point, the Hidden King's lines don't dance around what Vindicta wants compared to the Archmother.
Complete the ritual, and the Friends of Humanity will fall before you.
They took your life, Vindicta, and soon you will take theirs.
You deserve your revenge, Vindicta, and today you will have it.
Complete the ritual, Vindicta, and Haythorne's bloodline will be eradicated from this planet.
Splattering onto the scene is Viscous.
I'm squishy.
Being a literal fish out of water, Viscous is a psychic sea anemone that is trying to save the ocean from being terrorized by a new threat known as the Adversary. So he's taking it upon himself to travel to the Cursed Apple, using an ectoplasmic goo body to travel the surface world with. Like Rem, Viscous is another goofy little guy character who is also as endearing.
Oh look, I've made enemies. I feel more human already. If I had a mouth, I'd eat my feelings. When you need to be trapped in a protoplasmic cube, you're going to be thinking, man, I wish I had Viscous's help. He seemed like a nice person who would trap me in a protoplasmic cube.
When the ritual is over, I'd love to pick your brain.
Please don't stab my face. I didn't mean to offend you. I'm just socially awkward. I can't read.
If you can make Vyper guilty for killing you, you know they're a good person. Being unfamiliar with the surface world, he wants to make the most out of his trip by doing touristy things like going to see the Broadway show South Pacific, freeing some of his sea anemone brethren from the aquarium, and wanting to visit several places around New York like Staten Island, Long Island, and New Jersey. In terms of character interactions, the few that Viscous does have are mostly comedic in tone. Being a fish out of water, he's quite unfamiliar with the goings-on on the surface world, so most of his replies just boil down to neat. Of course, Haze comments on how she wants to learn more about the Adversary so that the OSIC can be better prepared to take action against it. And Great Talon offers his bow to Viscous and to tell him to take it to the Baxter Society to get their help in taking the Adversary down. Aside from that, Viscous has what is known formally as the Cube, a literal cube made of protoplasm that cures all pain no matter if you're organic or a robot like Bebop for some reason. I will now present the best lines from the cast using the cube.
Thank God for the cube.
Okay, I'm liking this cube.
I love you, Viscous.
The Baroness needs to install a cube.
Oh, thank God.
I take it all back. The cube is amazing.
I don't feel pain.
Oh, Viscous. This is sinfully relaxing.
Cube.
This is like being frozen in ice without the drama.
Patron-wise, Viscous strikes me as an Archmother type for sure. I mean, as a tourist, What would be a place you'd rather go see? A museum or a rundown factory taken over by Elder God fanatics? Okay, now that I mention it, that other one does sound really tempting. I'm going for the museum 9 out of 10 times. Also, the Hidden King makes it a point to call out that Viscous has been shunned by humanity. And while that is somewhat accurate,
New York ain't the place for you, Viscous. I'll slink back to the deep, will ya?
Tourists ruin New York.
Tourists. I'll never pretend to understand the deep.
Hey, Gooey! Slink off into a lake or something.
I gave him the old New York welcome.
I got goo on me.
the needs of the deep go unchecked simply due to most humans not even knowing sentient life exists outside of the surface. Maybe if there was someone who could educate people on the needs of the deep, they might know better? Plus, I kind of like the image of Viscous just walking into the Archmother's museum, not knowing he's about to be recruited, and then all of a sudden the Archmother appears and Viscous just goes along with it like it's a side quest. He definitely goes in the Archmother camp for sure. Slithering in and out of every jail imaginable is the Gorgon girl failure with a gun, Vyper.
Look, I'm not saying you need my help. I'm just saying, no, I actually am saying you need my help.
This might put my credibility at risk, but Vyper is my favorite character on the Deadlock roster. Not because of her kit or her lore, but because she's 100% the funniest character on the roster with one of the best voice actors in the game right now.
You take care of an old lady, right?
That's right.
You want me to, move some of her medication?
Absolutely not.
How did I get stuck working with the choir boy robot? Turns out $2 words can't stop a bullet. I'm not trained in CPR, by the way.
What?
Like if you have a heart attack, you're gonna die, probably, because I ain't helping ya.
I'm not looking to chit-chat.
No, that's cool, because I'm not really looking to make friends with an old guy that carries a bow around Manhattan.
Guess we understand each other.
How do I get a sweet job like yours?
You want to work for the OSIC.
Why not? You get to wear a cute little tie and murder people. Inside voices, Mirage. Anything to stop that guy from yelling about the gin. Hey, where can I get a pair of those earrings?
Why do you ask? It's not like you could afford them.
Okay, so it's sounding like off your dead body.
Is that supposed to be a threat?
Lady, are you a moron? It's obviously a threat. After this ritual, I'm gonna mug the shit out of you.
You like books, Vyper?
I prefer rolling papers, but you gotta go to war with what you got, you know?
Oh my god.
So what's your deal, Vinny?
Vinny?
Well, what else am I gonna call you? Vindicta? No, pass.
It's my name.
Well, your parents should have loved you more.
I'm just gonna cut straight to it. Vyper screams Hidden King in your face, and I shouldn't have to justify why, but I will. While her wish in the ritual is to attain a better life for herself,
Vyper, the cycle can be broken. A new life awaits you once you've completed the ritual.
life she's lived up to now has involved breaking almost every law and doing time in every major jail in the US. Simultaneously, she's also been kicked out of the Baroness, the Paradox Museum, as well as been barred from Jezebel's, which isn't something anyone should be proud of, but I think you just have to respect Vyper's hustle. And on top of that, nobody trusts Vyper in the slightest, aside from Rem, because he's a dumb child.
I don't know why people hate her.
She's very good at being bad, and she's all the funnier for it. And for that, she goes on the Hidden King side. Steeling himself for the fight he's trained his whole life for, Warden takes to the streets.
I'm duty-bound to fight.
Warden comes from a family line of militant alchemists, dedicated in their craft to stop the coming of a so-called mystic apocalypse. However, they realized they were too late and unprepared when the Astral Gate opened in Central Park. Refusing to let themselves go down without a fight, Warden was trained since birth by his mother and his father to become a supernatural killing machine with one motive: to stop the patrons. Similar to Venator, Warden's goal in the ritual is to kill the patrons. Unlike Venator, Warden is the only character in the game who hides his motives from the patrons, despite their telepathy.
Warden, you are inscrutable. How long do you think you can hide your heart from the Hidden King?
And all the Archmother can glean from Warden is that he has a deep hatred for her.
I know you hate the Archmother, Warden, but today she is not your enemy. She is the path that will lead you to destroying the Hidden King once and for all.
Warden is the most committed to his family's cause, having zero hobbies outside of his duty to kill the patrons.
You definitely definitely look like someone who needs to have a hobby outside of shooting a gun.
And it is through Rem's ult that we find out how broken of a childhood Warden had.
Let's play catch, Warden.
Warden is also the most miserable bastard, matched only by Victor. Geist describes Warden as,
"You're a rather dour bastard, aren't you? You just look perpetually miserable."
And Venator has this to say,
"I can tell by the way he fights that this isn't the life he would have chosen."
Great Talon doubles down on this idea in an unfinished conversation with Warden.
Be honest with me. Is this the life you would have chosen for yourself? I'm sorry.
Since it's unfinished, it's unclear what Warden feels about Great Talon's question, so we shall wait and see in the future how he responds. Great Talon also mentions that both him and Warden live, quote,
hollow lives.
I know how it may seem, but I think Warden is a hidden kinger. I know through his design and appearance of looking like a military cop that he would fit in on the Archmother side, as police are affiliated with the government, and I've made the claim multiple times that the Archmother is heavily associated with established authority, even though it's implied through a line with Abrams that he has a cape, meaning this isn't his final design, but whatever. However, Warden is not a police officer, nor is he a civil servant, but a vigilante. Characters like Haze and even the shopkeeper comment on Warden's activity as a vigilante.
Vigilantes are just criminals with delusions of grandeur.
I'm not one to judge the line between vigilante and civil servant.
However, there's two specific lines from Shiv and Haze that I find the most damning.
I'm not letting you destroy this city, Warden.
New York doesn't need you, Warden. I'm here.
This is to me the most blatant confirmation that Warden's vigilante status is all but confirmed, with both Shiv and Haze, both prime members of well-established organizations within the Cursed Apple and the Deadlock world, calling out Warden's charade and more than willing to put an end to it. For that, he goes on the Hidden King side. Rigging it so the house always wins, Wraith places her bet.
Thank God for vices.
Wraith is one of two crime lords on the roster vying for control of the Cursed Apple Underground. While her wish isn't known yet, she makes it clear that,
No, I'm thinking smart. When it comes to making wishes, you keep that shit as simple as possible to avoid loopholes.
Self-described as Florence Nightingale with a gun, she owns and operates her own casino, which also acts as her base of operations. She's made a good business of keeping markers, that's mafia for favors, tied to people after they've gambled so much of their own money that they now owe Wraith. Mo and Krill are prime examples of this.
Thanks for coming along, boys.
How could we say no to forced conscription?
Hey, of all the people I could call markers on, I chose you, and that should count for something.
And she has unexplained psychic abilities that aren't mentioned anywhere in her interactions or her background, even though her extra pair of arms are, but maybe some more light will be shed on them in future updates. Going off the scraps of lore given about her, I would say Wraith goes on the Hidden King side. Sure, her background mentions that she's an open secret, potentially aligning her with the Archmother. Haze mentions that
the OSIC isn't concerned with your little casino, Wraith.
I think little is underselling me a bit, but that's good to know.
Meaning the OSIC isn't super invested in taking a small fish like Wraith down unless she does something drastic to make her a target of Sandman intervention. Meaning her open secret is more of a closed truth and she's not nearly as big or important as she thinks she is. She's also known to be less than honest with people.
Hey Bebop, you looking for work?
If it's honest.
Yeah, never mind. I don't suppose you're a gambling man, Professor?
Well, and I have been known to make Bridge Night a little more interesting.
Not a poker guy?
I prefer working with people, not lying to them.
Something which is congruent with her gambling woman archetype. Other than that, this is mostly just a lack of information and my own personal bias as to where I think she goes.
You're torn between your desire to be feared and your desire to be loved. Today you will be both.
Putting a wrap on this whole thing, Yamato is the last character we have to talk about. Born into the Yakuza clan, the 7th Moon, Kaori and her brother Yamato took up to running things after their father passed away. Their joint venture led the 7th Moon into prosperity, and they had plans of expanding onto international lands. Kaori was to remain in Japan and maintain things there, while Yamato would leave to the US to set things up there. However, they didn't account for the greedy upstarts in the 7th Moon that wanted to take over the clan from the brother and sister duo. The upstarts who especially didn't love the prospect of being ruled by a woman. So, they staged a coup against Kaori and Yamato, which was swift and violent. Yamato sacrificed himself for Kaori, and in doing so, Kaori fled to the US with a few 7th Moon loyalists. She now takes on her brother's name to keep his likeness and memory alive in her heart, so that she may one day bring about her late brother's dream. Yamato's wish is to make the 7th Moon a force to be reckoned with. Whether a mask or her true self, Yamato is the most cold-hearted person out of everyone we've covered. She is such a ruthless, angry bitch.
You will work for me.
Our alliance is temporary, I'm afraid. Maurice and I value our independence.
That wasn't a question.
Your bargaining posture leaves something to be desired.
I'm not bargaining. I'm threatening.
How charming.
大勢の犬め。あんたがマーフィーの女か。
What did you say about Murphy?
Don't worry, Sheriff. Play your part and he leaves.
You want to come up with the plan?
I have one. Kill them all and ignore your existence. Kane no moujame ga. You are the Vatican's killer, yes?
Of sorts.
Good. Better you than someone with morals. Be quiet, or I will butcher you like you butcher my language. お前が感動されたのも当然だな。Why would I talk to you? Why would I want you as a friend? You are a puppy that pisses on the rug. Stupid yet strangely endearing. We will have coffee.
Aside from that, Yamato wants to keep a close eye on Wraith, as she is her main rival in the New York criminal underground vying for its control. If Yamato and Wraith are on the same team, Yamato intends to betray her at some point after the ritual.
レイスがやられたか。まあいずれこの手で仕留めようと思っていた女だ。
Yamato also has a one-sided hatred for Victor, most likely due to the fact that her brother is dead and buried, while Victor, being a walking mass of corpses, gets to live amongst people, calling him an abomination and an affront to nature. Yamato is, as far as I'm aware, the only character to primarily speak in a language other than English. Geist may speak French occasionally, same with Bebop for some reason, but not as frequently or as often as Yamato does. And no, Ixion doesn't count. Yamato is the final Hidden King joiner. As is obvious by now, I have a bias towards putting criminals on the side of the Hidden King. While I've placed other criminal type characters like Calico and Paradox on the Archmother side, the fact of the matter is the criminals I've placed on the Hidden King are a little more deranged, and as a result fit better with the Hidden King's agenda of returning to a more archaic society where chaos precedes order and might makes right. Yamato is no exception to this, as she is a ruthless leader of a criminal organization that leads by example and shows the results of when you step out of line.
I know a guy who owed the 7th Moon a C note. I knew a guy who owed the 7th Moon a C note. Yamato murdered the shit out of him.
And as stated before, Yamato is a cold-hearted, antagonistic type of person that doesn't really play well with the other members of the cast, seeking domination over all who stand in her way. Pretty obvious Hidden King rep, if I say so. And that's it. That's what I think every Deadlock Heroes Patron placement is. This was an undertaking to say the least, but this topic has been on my mind for a while and I wanted to take a swing at making it come to life. Thank you very much for making it to the end of this long ass video. It genuinely means a lot that you had the attention span strong enough to sit through something like this. So thank you a million times over. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, sorry for taking this long to get something out. Being a one-man show and having full-time employment doesn't exactly free up a lot of time for passion projects like this. So if you've enjoyed what you've watched, please consider clicking those subscribe and like buttons, as those are the easiest ways to show that I have a potential future where I can keep making these and people will continue to come back to watch. And with that all said and done, I will see you all later. Have a wonderful day or night.